And we are now recording, and I want Fefner to just check my levels, right?
No!
Oh no!
Hydra!
Hydra!
Hydra, that's the opposite of leaving.
Hydra!
Hydra!
It followed you in.
Hydra, what'd you do? Hydra!
I mean, it was.
I tried to get it to leave the fucking voice chat and it came in to start blaring a song I didn't ask it to play.
Hydra! Go to jail!
I asked Hydra to play Folsom Prison Blues, and instead played just a random Merle Haggard song because all country sounds the same to it, I guess. And then I told it to leave it and follow me. You're so much worse than Rhythm.
We can probably assign Hydra to a channel, but yeah, we can make Hydra jail.
Fine, it's
What
fine.
if it just leaves Hydra jail?
What if it just follows
Containment
Luca?
breach. Containment breach.
What if it follows Luca everywhere? Hydra's in your house right now.
But Hydra came back. It wouldn't stay away. It was in the voice channel the very next day. Hydra came back. It did one a row. The very next day, it was home sweet home.
Alright, Fef, how are my levels?
Oh, probably fine. Let me check.
Oh, you didn't even.
again.
Wow. I mean, I'm good at that.
There you go. Okay, it looks fine.
Okay. Looks.
Alright, I think we're good. Everybody ready?
We are, in
Yep.
fact, ready. Who wants to do the recap?
Oh, I can do it real quick.
Sure.
Fought. We did a fight against Future Quinn and 3 Ultras.
Yeah,
So,
Quinn Prime. It was hard. Well, how does that fight end, Fefner? Narrate it out to us. Who delivered the final blow? I forget. I think it was ultimately Cinder's mech with Cantel piloting it.
yeah, so I think basically what happens is, Kopesh just moves in to get that knockdown strike, just pushes Quinn Prime back, and then Cinder readies herself, and I think as she does, a half-conscious Chantal just, like, puts a hand on, like, the other side of the controls, and so they just, like, do a huge leap. The Burning Ranger, true to its name, just, like, heats up as it charges in. Of course, with the spear that Cinder was given by Null
I want
and
to.
Hafsa.
I would like to say that, like, to make it cool, like when she's knocked over, she like stumbles over the altar, right, and falls to the ground, and so Cinder gets to like very coolly. Well, Cinder and Cantel together in the same mech get to very coolly leap over, like vault over the altar and slam down on this kid. That'd be very cool. I think like Quinn Prime's eyes probably widen with like recollection at the sight of that spear because she has seen it too many times to count. So yeah. What else? How else does this play out? They're your reigns. Go wild.
Well, that was a pretty good hit. Miraculously, Quinn Prime wasn't killed by that strike. Sort of the force around her, like, soaks in a lot of the blow. Like, as stated before, she doesn't exactly have a mech, but there's just this weird static around her. And that's, like, visibly disappeared by this point.
Yeah.
At the start of the fight, Prime was, all cocky, hiding behind a barrier, and now she just looks furious.
Yeah, furious and exhausted. Like her weird psychic bullshit power is definitely drained. No more
But
psychic
there's
bullshit from this
also-
weird psychic kid. Sorry, go on.
But there is one problem. When Quinn Prime, just overdid it and got, like, too fucking stressed from, using Overcharge, basically gave herself that one condition where, she rolls a number of turns before, the mech melts. She managed to get a 6, so like she was gonna survive the rest of the fight without exploding, but again, she herself doesn't exactly have a mech, so the entire place starts to glow red as just the strain of what Quinn Prime has been doing has also exerted itself on this hidden base meteorite, whatever. So, at this point, y'all are going to want to quickly search for Quinn and get the fuck out. God, I can't talk apparently.
Yeah, who does it? I mean, I'd be more than happy to do it, but I know what happens when it's done. So, who, like, obviously you can hear, like, screaming, like, exhausted, weary, like, muffled screaming from underneath the altar. Y'all?
I think, I'm guessing Kopesh is probably one of the better candidates because, you know, she kind of knows Quinn better than most of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Cantel's met her once,
Cantel-
twice.
Cantel-
Twice,
Say, I
think.
guess of the entire group here, she is the only one who's actually interacted with Quinn.
Yeah,
Cantel would probably wedge open that altar with her sword and pry her out of there to start with.
I also think, like,
Yep.
Quinn seeing a familiar face, like, first thing might be best. Unfortunately, like, okay, so you pry
She does look vaguely like Bryn.
Yep.
There's a family resemblance.
Like literally, yeah, we have like kind of just a group here.
Yeah.
At this point, I think the easy thing to do is just whoever's closest literally just jumps out and opens the altar up.
Yeah. So Cantel wedges this thing open, as I guess Quinn Prime, like, starts to laugh maniacally. And current Quinn actually launches herself out of the cubby underneath the altar and will sink the pocket knife that Sylvia gave her into Cantel, thinking it's Quinn Prime before realizing it's Cantel. Fortunately, Cantel is... Cantel's a skilled combatant.
Yeah, she just
so,
takes it.
Yeah.
I think she like catches it like with a hand, actually.
Kopesh just like looks down and goes like, "So I've got a free cockpit. Also, maybe don't stab us."
You gotta chill, friend.
She's like hyperventilating, and like her nose is bleeding, and her eyes are dilated, and there's blood coming out of her ears. And yeah, but she's just like, yeah, she slumps, like, and like murmurs, like, you know, where's Null? But like very easy to just like stuff her into Kopesh and get out of here.
I think Cantel like literally like throws her over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes, just like carries her over to wherever.
Yeah, just tosses her into Kopesh. Yep.
And then she looks back at the other Quinn.
I think at this point, if future Quinn, like, she's probably going to try to right herself, before she even says anything, let me just fucking, roll, I guess probably either assault or take someone out, doesn't matter, it's a +6.
Yeah,
15 is pretty good.
Yeah, 15 is pretty good.
At this point, Gillian is going to just, like, Captain Falcon style, leap out of his mech and charge right for, Quinn Prime.
Yeah.
Backward to the ground.
Yeah, it looks like mechs aren't really working, but like physical, like actual human contact is definitely affecting her, which is something I actually hinted at, that actual Quinn doesn't really know how to do physical contact very well at all. So this Quinn is still very much that. If you'd listened to the pilot logs, you would have known.
Someone just roll up in a blanket like a burrito and do the cat.
Yeah,
they can't scratch you.
Like what happens is like she shouts out at Quinn like, you know, no, get back here, I need you, and then like looks up like, where is it? Like, where's my mech? And then bam, is kicked.
Yeah, so Gillian just charges in and engages in hand-to-hand combat because she's not spec for that.
Yeah.
And I think, meanwhile, Lionel has, like, repaired the Aegis enough that it will fly and he will not die in a vacuum.
Yep.
He says, "Alright, we have Quinn. Let's just get out of here."
What about the other one?
What about her?
Gillian says, "I've got it handled."
Hmm.
And I think as
I think Kanto like narrows her eyes, like she does not know this guy.
This guy is
at all.
I mean, the truth is, this guy was hired to bring Quinn to Kyra. So what if he just takes other Quinn to Kyra? Problem solved.
Kanto narrows her eyes a little bit, but she doesn't know enough about the situation to really question this. Because
also the floor comes out from between you and him, like a big fissure cracks between it, and you can see like heat, like blistering heat, starts pouring out of it. So it's like a big.
Alright, whatever. It's not worth this. Leave. I'm sure this is fine.
It starts to rip apart.
Behind himself. Faces forward. Gets in like a cool, scythe versus hand-to-hand duel. I forget.
She was using an axe, but at this point, she puts the axe away to pull out the scythe that she also has because she wants to look cool. But yeah, when she was actually trying to fight, she had an axe. I think what you'll if you even bother looking back, I know Quinn will. I guess Gillian effortlessly can grab the dog tags from her neck and pull them off of her, which absolutely flip her out.
I got an idea.
Yep.
So, future Quinn takes out the scythe. Gillian just hooks her scythe with his own, flips it up, and then from the angle he's at, it seems like he punches through her, but then it changes angles and you can see something in his hands, and he was actually moving past her, but then he just kicks her into the space Quinn was at, closes the altar much as he can in this situation, and leaps into the Scylla.
Yep. And so he'll have the dog tags in one hand and the spear in the other, because he'll tear it off of her, right? And he's gone. Yep. So yeah. And you make she's in there, so I guess she's going down with the ship. You can hear her pounding on it, and that's it.
Kopesh just kind of turns to the rest of you guys and goes do we have a duty of care to rescue her for literally any reason, or can we just watch her burn?
Mostly, we're all curious if Quinn dies, if other her dies, but she doesn't. Just spoilers. She's watching herself intently too, though. If original her dies, does that kill her?
I'm pretty sure that's a little different person. And second of all, people like that, not you, but people like that tend to be like cockroaches, and they just keep coming back. Yeah. So I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's just leave.
As soon as Kopesh hears literally anyone say that they are morally okay with just leaving this girl to die, she will fucking bail.
Mm-hmm.
Kopesh's entire experience of this person is secondhand hearing that she kept an NHP, basically in a constant state of near cascade for, over a year. So, as far as she's concerned, death to the slave masters eat the rich.
Exactly. Fuck you, Quinn Prime. You're a terrible, awful person. I think I'm not exactly in control of them anymore, but one of these people should probably let Null know. I presume that once the place starts going up, Null will probably call one of you.
Yeah.
Probably Kopesh, even though no. Who would be the leader? Probably can't tell.
Would absolutely be the right one to call because she's literally got Quinn in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Rather, literally the moment they're anywhere near out, Kopesh would give Quinn the ability to call Null.
Yeah, I think when Null I think Null will just send out a call over the comms that Isadora made, and whoever picks them up. And I think Quinn will very hurriedly pick them up. She recognizes Null's voice, but it's clear she can't understand what Null's saying. Her translator's been broken again. So, and she garbles back to Null in the standard language, which Kopesh understands, but Null might not. Like, I'm fine. Adolith, see you. And just, like, slumps to the ground, like with a gurgle. So, Noel will meet you all on the Adolith. Like, Noel just jets off to meet you all on the Adolith. So, yeah.
Exactly what does this base look like, having exploded into the distance behind us?
It's like a black hole. It creates a black hole. That's rad.
So we're watching like a universe or a star deck
Yeah.
tier event. It's that big of a reactor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, thankfully this wasn't particularly near anything. It was just, as far as you can tell, just some base that had been repurposed by Quinn Prime.
Does the black hole stay stable, or does it like eventually fade after a few minutes? Like,
I'm not the only GM here. What do you all think?
I feel like stuff like that, it wouldn't stick around because there'd be way more of them if they were.
That's true. Yeah. Eventually it dissipates. Like, it hovers around for a little bit, just extremely sucky.
It doesn't have enough mass to sustain itself.
It doesn't have enough mass to sustain itself. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not quite on the level of like a Dyson here exploding. I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think once you are a ways away from the dilapidated satellite, there's probably like a common ship you can dock on that will travel towards the Adolith, and the B team can just, repair their mechs and just kind of crash after that mission.
Yeah, I assume the Alice Lynn is there to get them to the Adolith. Because I think the Adolith is faster than the Alice Lynn. The Alice Lynn just has better weapons.
The Alice Lynn, it depends on like probably faster going in a direction, but the Alice Lynn's a fighter while the Adolith is like an actual.
Yeah, it's not built for range; it's built for engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs somebody to go back to
it would be
get
easily
fuel.
fast enough to get us to the Adolith. But it would probably be better to be on the Adolith for like a long-term journey because it's going to be able to go in one direction very fast.
I feel like going around in the Alice Lane be like spending a week in like an RV. It's kind of big.
It's not really built to take people on that long of a distance unless it's like one person.
Imagine if you're in a Winnebago for a year.
Like a near light bolt. This is just a fucking terrible ship to do long distance stuff in. This is a little sprinter.
Yeah. So, alright, Fefner, I guess we make it there.
Yeah. Does anybody want to converse as their odd characters?
No, well, once everybody's put together, I mean, first of all, what is the main... I'd like to check in with the main group before Group B arrives. So how is everybody... Like, how's Bryn? How's Lyra? How's Sylvia?
Yeah, once Lionel is, able to muster the energy, he will contact the crew and say, Quinn is alive. I know she's a scrappy one, but that other version of her is really something else. How are all of you?
How long
I
has
think
it
the
been?
first thing he hears is Sylvia going, "Please tell me you killed alternate Quinn!"
She got like a Disney death.
Fuck!
It counts.
How long has it been since the last mission we were on?
It's
It's probably been like a couple days at least.
It's been 3 sessions. It has been a couple days.
Well, yeah, but that's all one mission. So like, it was like that whole fight was like 10 minutes in actual time. Like, how long was it traveling to get there? But like,
yeah. So like, it's long enough for Bryn to have like recovered. Probably not completely, since he was the one who went into a building in a mech. So he's probably got like a few bandages still.
Yeah, Bryn's got some bands on his head. He's got some very obvious bruises that are like still healing, but he's like mobile.
He probably has like those like clots of like nose plug like tissue in his nose, right? Just sticking out
It's
of
not
his
even
nose.
long enough that he's fine there, but but bruises take a while to like go away, and he's probably like got like a like really big one on his face because he like probably slammed his face into like the airbag in the mech. Got whiplash a little bit.
Poor guy. He's got one of those big, fluffy. Yeah, he's up and about though. That's good. Lyra is.
Hey.
Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick, I think since Bryn's here and Cantal's also here, somebody's probably patching up Cantal, but I do want to mention I did make down and out rules, and
Oh, yeah!
last time I rolled 2 4s. Normally I would give you a choice on like which of the 2 you would want to choose from since we have a good doctor, but it's 4 no matter what. So the down and out rule for Cantal is choose a flavor. Your pilot can't taste it anymore.
Oh no!
So yeah, Cantal mostly got hit in the back, I think, but like now that we're actually observing, it was like a curve around the front as well. She got slashed in the face a bit, so
Messed up her flavoring. I think probably sweet things.
dang, rough.
She would kill someone if she lost that umami, so it's fine.
Brings Prime back just to kill her again.
So you can still taste the sweet taste of vengeance.
I think she looks at Bryn and says, "Wow, you look like shit." As she's sitting there, like a huge gash, like across her face and back.
Yeah. Like I think Noel probably arrives before before Team B arrives because she can time travel, so she can just be there to an extent.
Well, she can travel non-relativistically.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, Bryn's recovering. The rest of us are doing fine. We've been scanning to make sure there are no long-term effects, and it doesn't seem like Prime's whatever it was she had did any long-lasting damage.
Yeah. When Kopesh finally settles in, like Null rushes past and just pulls Kopesh's cockpit open, like, and pulls Quinn out, and then like apologizes to Kopesh, but like
Kopesh literally looks down and goes like, "You know, in other circumstances, I would have made a really witty joke about you not being able to keep your hands off me, but under the circumstances, I will let this slide.
No.
I'm going to go jack into my subaltern now. Please keep your hands off my cockpit. That's a very private area."
Null apologizes. Says, "Normally I would have asked for consent. Thank you for understanding." And like Quinn, like groggily, like recognizes Null as Null waves to Kopesh and says, "I owe you like a bigger apology." And Quinn just like hugs.
Don't worry about it.
Quinn hugs the cockpit of Null and like starts crying, and Null hugs her back. But then like Quinn pushes away and slides down Null and just staggers over to Bryn and hugs him even tighter and burrows into him, apologizing over it, like blubbering through sobs.
He's got like bruised ribs. He's like, "Oh, hi, are you okay?"
No.
He's trying to not groan, but like it hurt a lot.
No, says Quinn.
Well, you're not the only one, I guess. Can you squeeze me a little less tightly, please?
No.
I'm in a lot of pain.
She loosens her grip and just like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't know."
Well, I mean, it wasn't your fault that I crashed into I crashed my mech, so it's fine. Just.
But it was. Yeah, she says in that very haunted voice, but it was.
It literally was not. I gotta keep telling you that they're separate people. This isn't like you were split in half, and it's not. You're not responsible for the actions of your weird time clone.
Yeah, Noel says, "I have spent so much time with that you. Your father is right. She's not really you exactly anymore. And Quinn, like, slumps to the ground and says, I don't know, she talked to me. And for a moment, I could see her. I could see that broken, grieving, heartbroken girl that I am. And then she looks past Noel to Cinder and Lionel and says, are you two going to reconcile? And then, like, slumps to the ground. You really should before it's too late.
Sylvia literally walks up and goes like, you know what? You know what? Everything's dumb. Quinn, it's literally not too late. No, just fucking tell her.
Noel frowns and crouches down and looks Quinn in the eyes and says, do you remember that talk we had?
Bryn reaches for like a bottle of liquor. Just like quietly just pulls it over to his
Isadora
chest.
hands him a wine.
About what you were going through and the fears that I had and the things that I couldn't tell you. I've been very afraid because what you are going through is partially responsible. It's something that I'm responsible for. Please don't interrupt. It will make sense eventually. The Ashai people that you're part of believe that what you have gone through has caused you to lose yourself. And Quinn, like, grumbles and says, they're not wrong. I don't even know who I am anymore. And, like, Noel makes a very, very sad sound. But I know who you are. Your family knows who you are. And there is more to me than you are aware of now. But then Noel looks to Sylvia and says, well, she's like this. I can't tell her.
Then I can.
Please don't. Quinn, like, raises her hand.
You
don't.
Quinn almost died today. We all almost died today.
Sylvia, please. Whatever she's keeping from me, I don't want to learn it from you. She looks up at Noel. I want to learn it from you.
I don't want you to either.
Noel crouches down and says, I will... I thought... Sylvia's right. I thought I was going to lose you. Again. And Quinn, like, looks confused. Again. Lose me? And then, like, she gets back to her feet shakily and, like slumps against Noel and says, are we not Sirach? And at that, like, Noel tenses up and says, we are. We have been. We have been before. And at that, like, Quinn squints at her, like, knowingly, and frowns a little, and, like, stumbles back, and she says, I'm not ready for this, and runs away. And Noel looks at Sylvia, says, like, just raises her hands, and then just sprawls out on the ground. Like Rasha does, like Hafsa does, right? When things have gone
Sylvia
shit.
just looks at this whole thing and goes like, look, at least this way, you had a shot before the next thing that's definitely going to kill all of us. Now, if you'll excuse me, like, I think everyone here needs to meet in the med bay so we can figure out what the fuck we're doing to get our house back.
I thought we were already in the med bay.
Yeah,
That's where we are now.
We're in the main, like the mech area where all the mechs can fit. Since
the
all
mech
the
bay. I thought you said
Yeah,
med
that's what I
bay.
thought.
yeah.
Isadora
But like,
just finishes chugging her bottle of wine, puts a shoulder on Sylvia's shoulder, and says, we're almost there. Just a little while longer.
Noel closes her eyes, like, and it's Hafsa's voice croaking out, "You understand our shit the best. Can you please go fetch her? She needs medical care.
Sylvia just does this like head exploding gesture, like
That was
teenagers.
That was to Isadora. Please.
Isadora will. Okay. And I think B teams end that cuts off, and Lionel just
Wait,
turns to
does
the group and
Lionel?
says-
Yeah, yes, please. Lionel and Cinder
just-
better fucking reconcile.
He just turns to the group and says, "And that's who we were working for. Cantal, I believe you've met them before, and related to Bryn, yes?"
Yes. Do you want me to explain this, or does it really matter?
I think by now the only person left on the ship who hasn't met the Hex Girls is just Princess. So we
Oh.
just turned to Princess. So do you need an explanation? Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't know who you are, but thank you. You'll all get proper compensation, but
I am just here returning a favor. I have no idea what's going on. None whatsoever. Frankly, it's been very bizarre. Interesting. Bizarre, but interesting.
yeah, well, I don't believe I quite understand what's going on either, so I don't know how much more context would help, but again, thank you. I need to get the Aegis back to somewhere to repair it. I don't know if we want to go to wherever the Adelith is heading, and he'll quickly shoot Isadora a text like, "Where are we going?" But then Gillian will just pipe up and say, "If you all need to go, don't worry. I'll take the ship back. I've got one more thing I need to drop off of them."
Like half of voice like croaks out of Null. Are we done with him? Like, what do we even do with him? And like Null like clambers back onto her feet. It says, "You literally stole my wife." You think you could just walk away from that?
Yeah, that's kind of a dick move, bro. Kanto says.
I mean, is any of us in a position to stop him right now? Our asses are all pretty much as kicked as they can be, and he's no longer trying to steal your wife.
Kanto would be like, I could take him.
Yeah, and Null says,
That's fair, you probably could.
I am in pretty decent condition, having not really been in the fight all that much. Null's eyes turn to Gillian.
Anyways,
Explain
can we
yourself.
afford to lose a potential ally who now owes us a fucking favor?
That's like this. You could see like Hafsa like having that calculating look on the faceplate, and the eyes of Null's neck like narrowing on the display towards Gillian as she says, "Explain yourself." In like a very dangerous voice that you can kind of feel that pressure in the cabin.
Oh, stop doing that.
Gillian's
I've had enough
expression,
stuff in my brain going on lately.
Gillian's expression does not change, and he just says, "Somebody related to Quinn asked me to take her, but I'm not going to lie and say it was for her. It was convenient and seemed like it would be a safe place for her to go, but I wished only for her safety. But I can see it's too late to try to deliver her from all of this."
This isn't something that you or I or any of us could have ever delivered her from. I know that you, Nana Shire, aren't going to understand the way we see things. But you don't get saved. You save yourself. Together. There's this process you, Nana Shire, have about grief. There's all these stages and steps, yes? She's in that. You can't take her away from that. You would tear her off of the stairs. She'd have to start back over again. She'd never get to her destination.
Yep. That's why life's a fuck, isn't it? Can't do her grieving anywhere but the battlefield that took everything from her in the first place.
Neither could I, and neither could you. And now I'm fucking dead, but you don't have to be.
Just says, like I said, I have one more thing to give her.
Uh-oh.
And I promise I'll take the ship back. I promise I'll leave after that.
You don't have to leave. She's lost enough people. She's had enough foolish idiots sacrifice their fucking lives for her. Come back. And then she turns away. She's the one you owe an apology to.
Of course.
Is that just enough for all of you? People like this, death is a mercy. True justice is living with the price of atonement.
Lionel
No, I
says
think that's a
Wow.
pretty good.
You're really dramatic, aren't you?
That's probably why Quinn and her get along so well.
Somebody just like raises her hand and is like, killing is absolutely a viable path to revenge. To be clear.
Oh,
Sometimes
absolutely.
things just happen, and then other things just happen, and there's no like logical relation between the two things.
Hafsa chuckles like in that weary way. You think I haven't killed? Have you forgotten my legend? Some problems can only be solved by killing. And he will let us know soon enough if he's that kind of problem. Won't you,
You're also
Gillian?
kind of dramatic, aren't you?
Yes.
Lionel just shrugs and is like, well, he helped us, so since I don't know entirely the situation, and then he just sort of like takes an extra look at Gillian's armor, looks him up and down, says, wait, aren't you that guy who's been doing those weird murders around? Do I want to know? And Gillian just shakes his head and he's like, not the worst thing that's happened to me, so please don't keep doing mysterious murders. I have other things I need to talk about.
Hafsa grins and
Lionel
says,
just gets up and leaves.
murders are obviously clearly fine if they're not mysterious, though, Gillian. Like overt murders, okay. Covert murders, not okay.
Gillian just shrugs. Sometimes you have to meet Morris by their own game. With their own game.
I'll see you when you return, says Hafsa, settling back down. I'm usually not this dramatic, though I can be. I just got my wife back.
Alright, so I think, unless any of the other B team want to talk to each other, Cinder and Lionel are both here.
Yeah, they should reconcile.
Kantao gets Prince her number before.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
leaves.
get her number.
That's
Get her number. Get that girl's number.
But Kantau's gonna stay on the ship. She's got nothing else to do right now. She's hanging around.
Want to have a three-way later?
No.
I'm not playing Cinder anymore, but it's weird to roleplay with yourself, but you didn't send me any kind of thing. So if you want to do a pilot log, you can, but just kind of say, like, can you gloss over how they reconcile if you're too awkward to roleplay with yourself and I don't want you to get teased like I was?
What now? What?
These two idiots have to get together, have to reconcile because they had a big fight.
Who?
Lionel and Cinder.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I was confused.
No,
'cause-
you're
No.
fine. I think at this point, Lionel just apologizes to Cinder. I'll have to work out exactly how this goes down in the pilot log, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, Lionel apologizes, Cinder probably apologizes. It probably just goes back and forth.
Yeah, lots of apologizing about how stupid they were. I think, like, in light of what Cinder has learned about Hafsa, like, this has been very illuminating for both of them. But yeah, you can go over it and we'll just edit it in. And if you want, you can actually summarize the scene better and I'll edit it in, too, to this part right here. Yeah. And I guess... go ahead.
Either way, though, at the end of the day, I think Lionel definitely has to make a pit stop with the Aegis because the Aegis is kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a major mech of the planet Athena.
Mm-hmm.
So, he will have to step away. Cinder, I think, is going to stay close by, but will also have to leave just to make sure no bounty hunters get close.
Yeah.
Continue on that protect the Hex Girls thing. So.
Yeah. I think Null will have to take her spear back because that's her spear.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
she'll
Cinder leaves it.
put it in the printer, right? Like she'll print out another one and hand it to Cinder. We're kin now, cousin.
Thanks. It was pretty sweet, so gotta say it's a real honor that you give something like this to me, even if it is a copy. I don't mind.
It will become yours. It's not a copy. It's yours.
Well then, just watch me. I'll make sure to use this thing to protect all y'all.
Hefsa grins. Do not forget to protect yourself as well.
Yeah, I ain't gonna forget that anytime soon.
Hefsa nods and like pats her on the shoulder awkwardly because Hefsa's not exactly sure like what the parameters here are, and then just waves and like in the null frame and settles back in to wait for Isadora to come back with her wife.
Alright, so hey Alice, quick question. What planet would we be going to if we were seeking shelter in Common Front territory? Like, where's the Adolith headed to?
I think the Adolith is actually headed towards probably Kyrie.
Yeah, makes sense. I have a question for you, Alice, about Princess. Does she have access to ancient technology, say nuclear engines that would drive submarines from the old days? I would like her to, because see, the rocket shipping has recognized a problem, which is if Deliverance blasts them with an EMP, their engines shut down and they won't be able to do any of the cool stuff that they want to do. So they would like to back up their engines with engines that won't be shut down with an EMP, which means using ancient technology that maybe Clanners or Princess might be able to hook them up with.
Of the two of those, Clanners would probably have access to that more easily.
I kind of wanted Princess to like have a hand in this beyond just like disappearing like she was never here. So
Works in mysterious ways.
yeah.
I guess she could have some from her Pearlian Resistance contacts.
Yep.
There's probably something left.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like in terms of like getting their hands on like the uranium or whatever. Yeah, to make this stuff, and also getting it to them quickly enough is probably something that Princess can facilitate. So yeah, they'll Noel will actually probably announce that to the Hex Girls that like Issa has Hyrule has recognized something, which is that that with all the stuff that Quinn has gone through, there's no way she'd be able to power the ship plus the mechs again if you get hit by another EMP. So they need a way to power this shit that won't get shut down by an EMP, and that is not a 16-year-old girl's psychic love. So yeah, Hyrule wants to like basically dredge up the kind of stuff that would still keep this thing moving through space. And she's thinking of just scavenging it from the Athena. If Princess would like to get on that, because I'm sure the engines in the Athena, the actual ship, still work, or can be made to work again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the kind of old shit that wouldn't get shut down by an EMP. So do you want to be gay and do crimes?
It sounds good.
Yeah, so that'll be a downtime action for Princess for you to roll with help. Just to later to see if she can actually pull this up. Well, I think like Fefner, you're in charge of Boundless and the Athena, like the actual fucking ship. So, I think she could just pull this off without rolling. But I do want to roll just to see how well you pull it off. So this would be like a D20 plus 6 because it's probably something Princess is good at. Plus 1d6.
It
I'm
would
trying to
be
see.
super legal, but also the planet's kind of in panic mode, so yeah, I think.
It would be very easy to sneak on during the panic with Fario and just steal this thing.
See. You know what? Actually, I do think I know how to do this. She has +6 in pool rank.
Yeah.
I think that she's very good at pretending to be someone who has the authority to take
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. She like holds a clipboard and puts on a hard hat.
Fucking yeah.
Like, a clipboard will
She has
get you.
authority here?
A clipboard will get you so many places.
Yeah.
Bow to the monarch.
I have
do we?
I have specific It's just a name. I have specific glasses and everything.
Specific glasses.
Yeah, they gotta be sharp and thin.
So
Bada
perfect.
bing,
Yes,
boom,
absolutely.
baby.
All right. So, do you want to narrate how she does this?
You glance at the Declaration of Independence in your pocket, and it led you to this very moment.
You also, while you were here, you also stole the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, so this is on Athena, right?
Yeah, this is the actual ship.
I think that how she does this is that she I think she excuse me.
I think
She
like
gets,
we should probably describe this like Fef. Like my vision is like the Athena is a massive colony ship that brought
Yeah, like
billions
one of the 10.
across the stars. One of the 10. It's huge.
Like, it is the centerpiece of Wellspring Center Park. It in itself is the size of a park.
Yeah.
One of the nice things about a ship this size is that it's basically impossible for you to really completely verify everyone who's supposed to have authority over what.
Yep.
So all you need is something as a uniform that looks official enough, a couple insignia of some kind, whatever the tech equivalent of a clipboard is, and the right demeanor. And you can just convince people that, yeah, you're the inspector from so-and-so. And so she does. She's in fact she makes up a variety of different things that basically just mean quartermaster but sound very official to talk her way through multiple different layers of security. You see, you don't understand. She is the reacquisition and distribution agent for this section of the ship. You wouldn't really understand it. It's very complicated. It involves a lot of moving things around, and ensuring that our commodifiable equipment is not, the investment is worth it, and making sure that things are sustainable. And now, if you really are interested, I could there is a course you could take, to be, and by that point they're already moving her on. Just do not want to talk about this.
And like Ferio, one of the Wrath horde is with you, and just like backing up everything you say, like yes, like simping really hard, and just like backing up everything Princess says, or just being quiet and pretending to be like a good servant, right?
So the problem is, of course, that we don't need a reactor. We need uranium. Reactors are easy. Uranium is hard.
Well, you actually, what Ferio says is Hyrule wants the entire engine and everything, like the entire power structure, like the whole guts of it, right?
That'd be a pretty big engine, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
There's got to be like secondary smaller ones on this thing, though, right? That would be more practical for what you actually need.
Yeah, it's like. Sorry, go ahead.
Using this, she finds a backup engine, an ancient backup system that's not actually powerful enough to really contribute to the ship's energy, but because of that, no one's going to notice if it's gone for at least a while.
Yeah. What his thought is that like this is big enough to pilot like a ship of this size, so all they need to do is snag enough to pilot a ship of the rocket shipping size, and he has like all the mathed out. So yeah, very easy to just like grab like a backup engine and like grab the pieces and parts and the fuel and all that and get it out of here.
So obviously it needs to be moved, and of course moving this through the ship is hard. So she's able to commandeer some maintenance staff and a couple of just like random like midshipmen who don't know what's going on and just know they're supposed to help. Move this to a hangar bay. See, they're going to fly it to the other side. It's easier. It's like trying to move a piano in a house.
It's just, it's just
go through the window.
like Therios like suggests like it's been thousands of years. Obviously, it just needs to be restored. It's a historical artifact, and look at how far we're just restoring it. We're just taking it to be restored. And then,
recycling. Okay.
And don't worry,
reduce, reuse.
And don't worry, you don't need to help us load anything. And once we got here, we're good. So as soon as they're gone, hangar bays have cranes and forklifts, and I would like you to know that Princess is in fact forklift certified.
That's so hot.
Hell yeah!
He's
So
got it.
she
He's
just loads it
everything.
in bales.
You steal the forklift too? Just
Yes,
like drives around.
Yes.
too.
Forklifts are rare. This is lost tech.
Hell yeah.
Lionel just gets home like, oh, well, at least that's all over, and just gets a call. Hey, Lionel, somebody stole, like, one of the secondary engines and also a forklift?
And a bunch of
He's really
fuel.
pissed about the forklift.
Yeah.
Mambo Italiano just fucking intensifies in the background.
Where does Princess want dropped off? Because Vario will drop her off wherever she wants before he takes a blink gate to meet back up with the rocket shipping. He could,
They're in battle space right now.
yeah,
right?
he could actually take
Yeah,
her up to the
currently
periphery and
balanced.
probably drop her off with the clanners if you wanted.
Princess would probably. Princess asked him to drop her off at a set of coordinates, which, when he arrives, is nothing but a rather antiquated-looking station. When they ask what's going on, she just smiles mysteriously and says she'll find her way from here. Right before they leave, they notice that out of the shadow of this station, like basically hiding on the other side of it like a limpet, has been a small heavily armed Corvette in
Nice.
the old Pearlian colors.
Nice. Yeah, he wishes her luck and just doesn't ask questions because Ferrio's a spy. He knows better than to ask questions. He'll take the nearest illegal blink gate and be out of here. And that was the side bit that I wanted to take care of, so sorry about that. If you want, we can bring Princess in for a cameo during the final deliverance mission. We'll talk it out.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
I know what I want my downtime action to be.
Good.
I want to roll for it first before I
Okay, yeah.
tell you what it is. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna. Okay,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
very roll.
He's
Actually.
Pick
That's,
20.
yeah.
So my downtime action is buying some time. I imagine this trip we're taking is taking a little while to get to where we're going, right? It's been a week. So like a day or two into the trip, Cantel's gone, and so is Bryn's mech. Has been repaired since then, and she comes back like 4 days later, and she's like, "Okay, that should get the burst over Tails for a while." And she just like flew his mech out somewhere and like just made like a bunch of like trouble, and then just like left the mech and came back.
Amazing.
He's like, "I'll print you another one."
Yeah.
So she had thrown some mercenaries off our trail by making a distraction and then sneaking off as she does.
Yeah. Ferio will, of course, send you all the details on like this kind of generator that you could use to power it should you get hit by another EMP and not knock Quinn into unconsciousness by accidentally powering your mechs off of her anymore. So, yeah. It's, yeah. I think beyond like the talk that Isadora can have with Quinn, which we can gloss over, we can start with whatever's going on with the Common Front, since we're on our way to Kyrie.
Oh, we do. Yeah, we're almost to Kyrie, but we do still have Gillian's conversation with Quinn.
Yeah. I think Isadora probably definitely finds Quinn first. I have no idea where she'd even go, but actually, ironically, probably to the engines, right? To just like lean against them and feel the hum and just have the noise, right? Like the soothing purr. And Quinn just like waves at her raggedly as she's like on the ground, like cleaning the blood off of her face, and like she clearly needs some medical care. But this is like mostly psychic damage, right? Beyond the injuries that she took from being kicked and such. And her main, I guess the main gist of what Quinn will say to Isadora to not make this a long talk is like, she doesn't want to understand, and she wasn't ready to hear this, and she doesn't know what's going on, and she's not sure she wants to know. Like this is weird, and it's not okay, and she's confused and she's scared. She's afraid to believe what she wants to believe, but she doesn't want to know one way or the other because she doesn't think she's ready. And yeah, that's basically the gist of what she says to Isadora is like she knows something is going on, something bigger than like something Null's not telling her. Like Null has been honest and open with her about the fact that she's keeping something very important from her. They've had many conversations about this and the guilt that it's causing her. And Quinn just realizes now that like it wasn't just about Null not being ready, but about her not being able to hear it, which is a conversation that like something a thing that she and Hafsa have talked about before, where like you also have to be in the place to be able to receive the message. And she's not sure how to even get there.
Well, just survive and you'll find your answer.
Yeah. The first thing you can do...
But
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
close to the end.
Yeah. The first thing you can do is eat some food and get some medical care.
Also, have you visited Maria at all? You should do that if you haven't. Do you need to be picked up and put down in a medical bed? I will do that for you.
But let me put my arm around your shoulder. I don't want to be carried like a child anymore.
Very well.
Yeah, she'll drape her arm around Isadora's shoulder and like get hold over to Maria, who will probably still dote on her and treat her like a child. No escape. She does ask, like, you know, is everybody okay, right? And yeah, people are mostly fine.
Yeah, I think you and Bryn pretty much got the worst of it. Sylvia and Lyra have been up and about as much as they can be.
She half closes her eyes and says, I don't understand how it works. This weird power I accidentally found that I have. But I think we're both out of juice. Me and, if she's still out there, her.
Well, I mean, apparently the space station she was on exploded, so I guess if she managed to survive that, well, she's worse off than you.
I need to talk to Noel. Isadora, do you think she could be reasoned with? I wasn't there in the fight.
Well, neither was I, but I think you who would put yourself through whatever it is she went through so many times for self-satisfaction is not to be reasoned with.
Quinn closes her eyes and slumps back. I think she's a Roth.
Yeah, I think so too.
And like, they can come back. You came back. Sylvia came back. Hafsa came back.
Isadora just puts her hand on Quinn's shoulder and says, well, you came back, but I don't think you can come back from... Did you ever get a number of how many times Quinn has been through this? I don't think I have, but...
Noel said eons.
Yeah, so I don't... Look, Bryn keeps telling you, you and her are different people, and that's true. Lived experience makes a huge difference, and I can't imagine one person living through the same traumatic event twice is healthy this many times. It would be a mercy if she did die on that satellite.
I don't know enough about this stuff. I suspect what Issa was suggesting to me now. Something about wanting to come back, being part of a necessary component of coming back. She doesn't want back. There's no coming back from. And then like Quinn just goes quiet. I have to believe, because I don't think I can come back.
I believe you can. And I think every Quinn she ruined also had the chance to come back. But then she took it away from them.
She
So-
said that when she restarts, it just erases. And we all go back to being how we were at the start of it all.
She doesn't. It doesn't. Every part of you that has died over, Jesus Christ, eons, is a part of her, even if she erases it from you. So, you can, and I think should, forgive yourself. You can even forgive her. I'm being realistic when I say I don't know if she can understand forgiveness anymore.
I want to try one last time, but if she even throws one fucking tech, kill her. If she even starts to monologue, just fucking shoot her. Oh shit! The
What?
warp cannon. Quinn sits up. Quinn Prime took the warp cannon. Oh,
But does Adora know about the warp cannon?
oh yeah, you saw her melt through the doors of the Flavor Town with that fucking thing.
Okay, it's that thing, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that also exploded on that satellite. None of the team who saved you were melted, so I don't know what that means, actually.
Quinn just like is pushed back down by Maria, and she groans and says, "Oh, we're gonna need Sylvia's spare." And then she'll close her eyes. I trust you know this so much better than me. You still have somebody to teach you about it. Thank you. I will continue to want to come back. Yeah, and I think that's like the gist of it. Thanks for allowing the short scene. So,
Isadora just shakes her head. Bryn's not going to be happy about warp cannon news.
don't tell him. Let's keep it a secret between us.
Isadora flips a coin. It turns out tails. She frowns. Flips it again. Tails.
Fuck.
Land on heads, damn it.
It will never land.
kill him.
It will never land on heads. Yeah. So what goes on when we get to Kyrie? Like Quinn is definitely going to need to rest and recuperate, but she plans to basically just take it easy. She doesn't want to not be in the fight. So Alice, it's now your turn to.
Real quick.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I didn't want to do the Gillian scene though.
Oh yeah, Gillian. That's right. I keep forgetting about Gillian. Please go ahead. Yeah. Oh my God. Thank God.
Idiot.
God. That's right, because she needs to get her shit back and probably have a moment with her. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, Quinn is laying, but she isn't asleep, right? She just closed her eyes as Isadora walks out and Gillian walks in. Do they have like a moment? They glare daggers at each other.
I think Gillian's expression is just almost kind of sad, neutral. Isadora's a little more angry, but she continues. Gillian just enters and says, "First off, I should apologize."
I owe you an apology too, I think.
For what?
She gestures her.
Ah, well. That's entirely my fault.
An insane teenage other version of me who's been jumping back and forth in time for eons
I-
is.
Thought you were talking about Isadora. No, you don't have to apologize for her either.
I'm surprised you're still alive. I expected Sylvia to kill you.
Yeah, expected that too. Ren was also none too happy about it. Quite an agile fellow, I must say.
She grins. Well, physically, he's still 32. Just like physically, that woman out there is still 16. She'll, like, gently push Maria back and sit back up carefully and look up to him. You're gonna have
Maria just has a look of pity as she looks at Gillian and just kind of goes about her business.
Yeah.
Bryn's older than that.
Yeah. She doesn't know. She just ballparked his age. Isn't he like 36 or something?
He's like 77.
Yeah. She got her dad's age wrong. I will
In the
retcon
30s,
in.
it's fine.
I will retcon in his correct age. She wouldn't have gotten dad's
No.
age wrong.
It's almost funnier if she absolutely gets
He is a
it wrong.
teen, so
It's true. Once over 30 to teenagers is old.
that's true.
Ren is old years old.
Yeah. She says to him, "You're gonna have a lot of apologizing to do." What exactly? Look, I don't think you were wrong for you. You were just wrong for me.
Yeah.
I can't.
Wrong and late.
You could have never been on time. Look at what you were competing with.
Yep.
Gillian, if she is any indication of anything, this is what I've wanted all along. Why else would she be doing this? I didn't want to give this up from the beginning. I told you at the start, I just wanted to play myself up as cool. Build this persona and fandom around me and, have a bunch of cute, fawning fangirls all over me all the time. But that changed when I met her. And, like, she touches at her chest, but of course the dog tags are gone. So she just freezes and just looks devastated and wipes at her eyes.
I think she also notices that Gillian has the spear to his side, which
Uh,
at this point he's gonna prop that up next to her. She probably shouldn't really be lifting it, but
Yeah. He'll set it down on the bed next to her, and that like it's that only then that she notices because she's actually not like sizing him up. She's just been looking at him like as a person, like in the eyes, not really like looking at him as a threat. So when he pulls out the spear and sets it down, her eyes widen. You got it. Are you sure? You want to give it back to me?
why would I keep it? It's yours. Look, part of me wants to say that I'm not wrong, that there was some way I could have solved it, but I never found a good solution just watching the Hex Girls leave and come back time after time, as everything just got worse. But you're right. There was not a time that I could have come in to save you. And I hate that I still have to live in a world where war does this, but I said that I now would have preferred to be dragged kicking and screaming away from the battlefield. Would have hated it back then, but you're right. Listen, this war is not yours. It should never have been yours. It shouldn't have even existed in the first place, but that you had to inherit it is the greatest crime of all who have come before you. But I could not tear you away from that. The people who were in it with you don't deserve it, and I would not have forgiven myself if I were torn away from the people I would end up losing. And at this point, he pulls out the dog tags and waits for Quinn to hold out her hand.
Yeah, Quinn like bursts out like in tears seeing them. Like the relief on her face is evident, and she like grasps for them like hurriedly, and takes them from him, and like quickly like fixes the chain as best she can, right, and puts them back around her neck, and then like grips them, and says, "Gillian, there have been so many wars, and you didn't choose yours either. I don't think you were wrong for you, like I said. I think you were wrong for me. Because I chose this. I didn't have all the information when I chose it. But I still chose it. Had you ever heard of her? My wife. The Black Sheep Kovanen.
Not much out of what I was able to glean from my time with your crew.
She told me something, and she claimed she had told many people before, and I'm going to repeat back to you. Gillian, there's no perfect combination of perfect words and actions that are going to convince anybody of anything. They have to convince themselves. All you can do is be there and support them as they make their decisions. Making the decision for them isn't showing the respect and love for them that you may or may not have for them, or the care that you at least are claiming to have.
Well, do remember, I'm not part of your crew. Perhaps it's not so much love that motivated me. Just wanted to see if I could save another sad kid, but it wasn't my place. But I can at least offer you these back.
She smiles raggedly at him. Go ahead and continue, sorry.
I knew you would need these back when I saw Quinn, the other one, take them. There's nothing you can do to bring back the dead, but all you can do now is just live to see whatever the next day brings. At least that's how I've always seen it. Heaven or hell, as long as I see the sunrise, that has to be good enough for them. Which is why I don't plan on dying or anything, much like that, enthusiastic companion of yours thought.
Then I'll look forward to seeing you again. Look, you're not part of my crew. You actually can't be. This isn't my crew, it's Bryn's. It's Dad's crew. But this story isn't over yet. We can still get each other someplace better. Stop trying to save me like I'm a child. Fight beside me as a fellow soldier. Let's save each other. She offers her hand out to him.
He closes his eyes. I don't plan on trying to save you anymore. If you are even a fraction of what you became then, you're in good enough hands, and any emotional damage is already done, but I'm afraid I can't exactly fight beside you. I am a loner by, I can't say choice, but I can't say circumstance, but I certainly can't stand as with a man as good and gracious as our captain. I have killed before. I have my own rules, but even I know that it's, we'll say, frowned upon, to keep it simple. But I suppose I can work as I have been lately, in the shadows.
All right. Well, I don't think you'll be receiving this as well as I thought you would then, but I think, based on everything that's happened today, you played a major role in getting me through this.
At this
Yep.
point, I'm happy with that.
I'll see you on the other side. And she'll
He-
fold up the spear and slide it into the holster on her hip.
He gives Quinn a nod, gives Maria a nod, and walks out. On the way, Isadora is absolutely just waiting there, and he's like, and Isadora just interrupts. Yeah, the kidnapping thing, you had your reasons, she's safe in the end, not ideal. What about those murders?
Gwen doesn't even care about the murders. There's been just so much murder. What's a little bit more murder on top of the murder? All right, is that all the roleplay conversations?
Unless Lyra or Sylvia or Bryn have anything to say as he
Yeah.
walks past.
I think, you know what, actually, there is, Sylvia would kind of like tap him on the shoulder as he goes. Very briefly. I'm going to try and keep this within 2 minutes, so that we have more stuff to get through tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia just kind of goes like, so it was you literally the whole time?
Yep. You wanna...
Why?
I'm gonna need you to be a bit more specific than that.
Alright, I know how revenge works, because I do that for myself all the time. It's actually become something of a minor obsession anymore. But you took it above and beyond and invented a whole ass persona with a murder scythe.
Mm-hmm.
And then stalked us for an unknown amount of time, staring at Gwen, when at any time you had the access to probably just drop onto our satellite, kidnap her months ago, and bail out. Which, yeah, you would have gotten into a fight with me, but I am a lot easier to kick the ass of when I'm not wearing my prosthetics and I'm in bed.
He gives it a moment. I don't know. You held your own way back when. But I did make a promise. I
To who?
promised not to harm her.
I mean,
And
killing and hurting you all would technically be harming her. Sorry for interrupting.
Psychological harm is just as bad as physical, I think. And I had the access to be able to tail you and make sure no surprises came your way. Though, of course, to a certain extent, it was mostly just me being frustrated that she was still in battle, but for a while I did trust you to keep her safe.
Look, about a year ago, you and I would have done the exact same thing. The only reason I never did it is you've seen what she's like by now.
I have. You have a
She's
better
young
reason.
and dumb and idealistic. And fuck me, I know myself, and I know that even knowing what happens to me later, young, dumb, idealistic me might have chosen to go through it all for the chance of doing one good thing. 16-year-olds are really fucking stupid.
Yep. But you know her better than me.
Sometimes I like to think so. Look, if you've been tailing us and keeping us safe from stuff, that means for however long you were technically my wingman, so good luck, don't die. I hope we get to talk again when this is all over.
Oh, real quick, is Lyra nearby?
Sure.
I think when you say, wingman, just for a moment he thinks, he just turns to Lyra and says, "Oh, it should be obvious, but I'm not going to be available as a getaway driver anymore, but looking at you now, I don't think you need that anymore, do you?"
Getaway driver is a convenience. I can be my own getaway driver.
We'll teach Coriander how to drive, but Faye have to learn how to parallel park. It's on the registration.
I am
Yeah,
worried
Miranda
if
just
I
roasted.
I will have to.
Getaway driver.
Yes, and you did a very good job. I am worried that if you get much better, it might create problems.
Why to create problems? If I'm a better getaway driver, that means I drive better. Therefore,
It means you
what
will
problem-
want to drive away from things more, which would encourage you to bad behaviors. I will be
can
responsible
separate
for
getaway
your.
driving and normal driving.
Is
I
this
am respon- I
is
am-
this character development from Lyra? Holy shit! Sorry, go on.
I am somewhat responsible now for your moral development, mostly in bad ways, but also technically responsible. So I don't want you to, learn any bad habits that can then be blamed upon me.
But you've already told me that snitches get stitches, and I've already
And
got
you,
that down
I'm
to
glad that you know that. That is an important thing to know.
So, to be clear, you two are discussing the crimes you've been doing together, and how you'll miss each other in doing crimes. Sylvia's just looking back and forth between Lyra and Gillian,
Oh no,
because
it's Coriander.
between Lyra and Coriander. And so it's just something that's because to be clear, I'm jealous that Lyra didn't invite me to do crimes. I'm so good at crimes.
I was bonding. I was bonding with Coriander and not with you. This one time. We have done plenty of terrible things together. We have fought
True,
many
we
things,
have, but
destroyed
I thought we
many
had something
robots.
special.
We
Beautiful
literally,
diversity.
we went raiding together. It was very sweet.
I think Bryn walks down a nearby hallway, looks, hears this, just keeps walking. You're not getting involved in that.
Coriander's just like, would it help if I went on crimes only with you, Sylvia? Or should
Do
we
not
Let's
listen to
just all do
Sylvia.
crimes together.
Alright, triple crime. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Good work.
Technically
you're
speaking,
you're
we're all
owed
doing
some
crimes
crime.
together.
Yeah.
We're on the run, so really we're all doing crimes as a group now, but I don't think that should count, because this was time we set away at one point.
No. This is being criminalized. Crimes is when you have fun.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. I think Gillian has just like done the chuckle to himself and smile and leave this conversation by now.
Yeah, Sylvia just like waits and goes like, remember, don't die.
Lyra completely forgot that she was talking to Gillian. But a much better conversation happened. She was like, completely forgot.
So he's just like, so you do want to do larceny, to be clear.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to do some larceny on Deliverance while we're stuck?
I mean, if we have the extra time.
Kanto does have that list of targets that need to be harassed and harried.
Yeah. She's been working on that in her spare time.
Let's see, we have that extra time, GMs.
You absolutely do have that extra time, but I do want to reconcile this scene with Gillian before you go making some rolls.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As Gillian leaves, all like he does just get glared at. Well, not glared at, but like eyed by the null frame, by the lich frame. Like no thumbs up, no nothing, just eyed. And he can take off.
I think the last person he passes is the captain. They share a brief word, and Gillian leaves with one of those two-finger like wave salutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As I guess he boards his mech. He goes through the door to the mech bay.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera, I think, swivels around, and after speaking to the captain, he does have a few tears in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Now we can move on to Common Front.
Yep. We have arrived in Kyrie as Gideon takes off in whatever he takes off in.
So you arrive in the Kyrie system. Coming out of the last leg of the journey last leg of the journey brings you through the Kyrie Blink Gate, and as you do, you arrive in the middle of a large flotilla that is kind of basically a staging area for the Union fleets. Your ship is hailed with a priority mission, with a priority transmission that is not actually audio; it is text only. It reads, priority number 1, 4 Hex Girls only. Rhea Tavros, I've heard that you are having trouble, but if you're up for it, I have a war to win. And one easy go. If you want to hear more, contact me and an address for a private channel.
I say we give it a shot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, does Bryn get this message, or is it like to the... it's the ship itself, so yeah, I think Isadora would be like... You'd read it and go, alright everyone, how do we feel about a mission right now? We all recovered enough to ride a mech?
Fine.
Sylvia just like cracks her neck and stretches and is like, the only thing that I've been trained on is staying up late, making sure that your asses don't get killed if we get boarded. So, I'm good.
There is a second message.
What does it say?
Please, I don't know anyone else I can trust to do this.
Oh, well, now we have to do it.
Do you call her on the channel?
Yes. I will Bryn McCaller.
As soon as you access that channel, your ship begins doing. Your ship begins these. It's like the autopilot that usually kicks in for docking. Immediately kicks in, nudging you into a different course,
Oh,
deep
God.
into the flotilla. And
Dad, did you malware us again?
No, I swear to God.
you expect there to be at this point you open the channel, you expect there to be some kind of like audio visual kind of a component here. There is not. There's just text. Sorry about your vehicle. I'm not going to keep it. Just sit tight. Oh, you should probably be in your mechs when this gets to where it's supposed to be.
Is it like can I respond, or is it just like a message?
Do you try?
Yes, I like type into it I'm like, is this a two-way thing? Question mark? Question mark?
I can't encrypt your signal. I can only encrypt mine. So everything you say can and will be read by someone who I do not want to read them.
Well,
I'm gay.
next roll.
Bray would say, can I get an ETA?
Isidore can quickly fix up a good enough encryption that
Yes.
maybe we can get something over.
So it takes a minute, but you're reasonably sure that your transmission, as long as you stay with text, you know that it will be secure. When you ask for an ETA, there was a slight pause, and she says 10 minutes.
Oh my God!
And then a second message, it depends.
On?
So
Traffic.
Kind of goes like, I liked the Common Front mostly because they were straightforward when they asked us to do things.
Traffic, she says.
It's like 4 question marks.
They're straightforwardly obtuse today.
Sylvia just heads down to the hangar and goes like, I'll get everything ready. If Quinn isn't well enough to come, I guess Noel can ride solo.
Like, Noel looks over at Quinn, and Quinn looks over at her. And Quinn says, I'd like to come with you. And Noel, just opens up, becomes a bit more solid and opens up the cockpit. Let's go.
Yo, Kopesh, we're riding! Kopesh just, jumps up. Are you serious? I was winning! She's, over in the corner playing poker with whoever she was.
Probably Coriander.
Whoever she on this ship convinced to play poker.
Coriander.
It's probably Cantel. She's been hanging around.
Yeah, it's probably, it's true, yeah.
Because, oh, come on, I was winning!
Cantel has, her shirt's off. Well, okay, I guess we're doing something. She gets off.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually strip poker.
So, your ship kind of maneuvers slightly awkwardly through the sort of massing flotilla. And so you arrive at a carrier that looks a little worse for wear. This thing has been in fleet combat recently. It's still holding together and stuff, but there's still obvious battle damage on it. There is another message. Are you guys in mechs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It will also reach you there, and it is text again, and it says, I'm going to open the hangar bay doors. Please jump.
Oh, fun.
They do in fact open, and ahead of you, you see that carrier with buoys that have been already pre-placed, lighting up the whole way there like a straight line, like sort of a welcome mat of light, if you will.
Yeah, Quinn jumps. She's ready. Well, Noel jumps, but yeah.
Sylvia takes flight. think for this mission, I'm actually going to change mix-up again because it's finally time to bring back the old favorite.
Yeah, I'm going in the Goldenrod Mark II, so Isidora's gonna trail behind everyone because, this is the sniper mech more than anything else.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you will
Isidore
also
will
lead down.
also get another message of that ETA updating. Whatever is on its way is getting closer.
So, you guys touch down in the hangar where you find Rhea Tavros, who looks extremely worse for wear. Her arm is in a sling. Her she used to have sort of like really, really thick, long, like luxurious hair. She is missing part of it on the left side of her face. Is a huge laser burn that has actually taken some of her hair, had to be kind of cut so they could treat her. So she's got like a big sort of medical patch on most of the left side of her face. But she smiles real big when she sees you guys. Does anybody have spot? If they do, please roll a check for me.
I think
let me-
Quinn has spot
let me see
now.
here.
Let me make sure.
Does Isidora have...
I actually do have spot at +2, so I'll
yeah.
do that.
Quinn does not have spot. She's still not very good at spotting, but she will announce.
I'll get a 15 there.
Yeah, she will announce. Oh, thank goodness! I'm glad it's you. I was so certain it was somebody posing as you, and we were even more fucked.
I apologize. I would not have done this if I had a choice. I'm not really supposed to. It will be easier to explain. Those of you who rolled, because you both got over 10, you kind of, something clicks for you, and you realize that she was, because the station she has actually has a sort of an emergency, like, it looks like a joystick, which you recognize as a sort of manual override. Which means she had probably slaved your computer systems to the hangar bay's little like a docking manual override system.
Mm-hmm.
You know enough about. You've seen that happen once or twice. So that's a pretty elaborate thing to, especially with the distance that she did it. She grins and gestures to the hangar bay, which for the first time you realize is completely empty. It's nice to see you again. I know a lot's happened, and I probably don't even know most of it. So I'm sorry if this comes at a weird time. You're still obviously free to go if you want, but
This would be a poor time to let allies down, so we're in it.
Sylvia just like shrugs and goes like, "We don't even know what you brought us here for yet, and I'm intrigued."
Yeah, there are very few details on your encrypted messages that no one else could read. Weird.
I knew that was you. I knew that was you talking to me. I knew it. I could tell from the typing. All right.
You're lucky I didn't have
Sylvia
time
just
to
like breaks down laughing, like, "It's true. He types one finger at a time."
Yeah, Rhea's lucky that Quinn didn't have the time to like copy paste in some ASCII art of a titty.
No, he would never do that.
That's why I said Quinn, not Brit.
Quinn. That would be classic Quinn. So, as you know, Common Front has pushed pretty hard. Deliverance's fleets are in disarray or actively avoiding pitched combat with us as of now. Those that are left. The Confederation of the Core, the breakaway state, the sort of buffer, the Harrison puppet, if you will, they're mostly defeated. But the war is not over, and it should be. And I know how to make it over. The Confederation of the Core only exists because Harrison Armory found someone with enough pull to make it exist. And I know where he is.
This will set your faction free.
This will mean people can go home.
Like the frame lurches up as like Quinn takes direct control of it instead of letting Noel pilot herself, and says, "Sign me up."
I thought you would say so. His name is Devlin Stone. He's an old bastard, and I know him well because he used to be my commanding officer back when we were fighting warlords on the fringe. The man is completely unrepentant. He knew that this would start. The Confederation of the Corps, when they left, there was a lot of propaganda about the whole, we didn't want to fight, but we were made to thing. No, Devlin Stone wanted a fight. He made sure there would be one. He has his own bones to pick, and he decided to pick those bones with war. I know where he's hiding.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
All we have to do is get in there, nab him out of that cockpit, preferably alive.
Quinn was actually about to say alive or dead, so she makes note.
I mean, if it's not possible, I'm not going to complain. If he's not alive, because, things are hard, but preferably alive so he can be put on trial publicly and we can finish this.
Do you think his seat is rigged?
Knowing the old man, like hell he'd die in a cockpit. He probably has that thing rigged so that it has a hair trigger. Not because he's a coward. No, he wants to fight you on his feet first before he dies. We'll need to get him alive, which I can do. I mean, okay, that sounds way better than I was thinking it would. What I mean is I have a taser. Like, it's not anything fancy. Once we beat that cockpit, once we get him out of that cockpit, I'm just going to taser him.
Yeah, Quinn's mech speaks up with her own voice, which might startle Rhea because I don't think she's.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Like, she will go like, oh.
And the eyes light up of her own accord, and she says, "The taser's nice and all, but if I give you something, would you return it? Because I wanted to give it to my companion here."
Sure.
Noel pulls out the sword that Mia had, the lightning sword, and hands it to Rhea. And Chris says, "You've nabbed that?" And Noel says, "Spoils of war!" Yes!
My God. Wow.
This thing is ungodly. It looks ancient and yet brand new at the same time.
I'm sorry, but all I'm thinking of in my head is Zen Tetsuken.
Yep.
Okay, so my brain was like, it is a crysknife.
Oh my God.
Well, specifically, it's a katana that lightning, electricity crackles up it when you activate it.
Yeah, so Zantetsuken, yep.
Yep.
I will return this. Thank you.
What are you gonna do with it? Quinn asks Noel, and Noel shrugs and says, "If I ever need to fight by your side, body by body, I was going to use it. A sword is something I have a mastery over." And Quinn sighs and slumps back. Great.
I guess I should probably mention why I needed to be weirdly cloak and dagger about this, which you know that I'm not usually.
Is it because you're compromised in some way?
Well, probably, frankly. There are a lot of people there are a lot of fighters for the Common Front who have a sympathy for Devlin Stone. A lot of them fought under him, and a lot of them can't help but nod along when he says his dumb bullshit, revanchist bullshit. So I am always worried about that. But no, the real reason is because I'm kind of going rogue here. Devlin Stone is... I know I have actionable intelligence that he is stalling for time so that Harrison Armory can drop a war fleet that has been going through that is now in the periphery. It went the whole long march from the purview all the way through the long rim. It is sitting in the periphery of our system, specifically to secure him. That was his deal. I know that he's stalling for time with negotiating peace. Because every time that he makes an overture and says that he will meet, we show up and he's not there. And then he sends another one. I have spies that have found his actual bunker on the planet Arcturus and have infiltrated it enough to figure out that he has an active timetable when that fleet arrives. He needs to be in custody before that fleet gets here, or else that whole war doesn't mean anything and it restarts. The Confeds are dangerous, and they're not going to just give up because they lost. They'll burn everything down, and I'm not going to let them. Father Coromdir and the Executive Council of the front disagree with me. They think that they can talk him down, that he'll realize that he's lost, and he'll give up. But he's not gonna. You probably won't get in trouble for this. I might, but there's a limit to how much trouble I can be in.
Quinn looks over
So-
at Bryn. We've been running into a lot of people like this recently.
Yeah, we kind of track him, don't we?
She
Yeah.
looks kind of quizzically like, do I want to know?
You should be told, but we'll talk after this. I need to speak to you. I need to apologize to Cinder. Don't let me forget, but let's take care of this first. Let's hope you free your people.
If there's anybody you can trust after going rogue, it's us.
Yeah, we do crimes now.
Well, the reason I called you was that if I'm going to lose my commission, I'd rather lose it getting the job done than failing. So I'm gonna want the best mercenaries in the galaxy.
Aww, look at that. We are being pandered to.
Bryn nods because he understands her sentiment, not the pandering part, but the lose your commission part.
Yep.
Yeah, I just imagine kind of like, oh.
That was not his fault.
She will actually lead you guys further into her carrier. This is actually her. Command carrier, Home One, that she has been fighting in for the last several months. This is the carrier that they were on when they retook the system around Blair. It's storied and famous. It's also almost entirely empty. See, it's been damaged. And during its, when it got back here, it was basically supposed to be in dry dock for repairs. She's been working on this plan for weeks. While this is supposed to be, there are supposed to be repair crews on here, those repair crews, quote unquote, never actually arrived. Or rather, they're you. She's going to do a cold jump from her position, like a micro jump, to the gate, immediately bolt into the gate, with the help of someone who she trusts actually running the Blinkgate station, and do a mad series of jumps to get as deep into what used to be the Confederation of the Sphere, the Confederation of the Core, as quickly as she can, so that she can get to Arcturus before anyone can stop her.
So to be clear, you're doing a near-light bolt through blink space.
Highly calculated. I have a lot of, just like Devlin Stone, I also have a lot of friends, and they also happen. My friends happen to pilot starships. We'll have a clear shot. Our window's in about an hour. I have an actual timer on the bridge.
Somebody just goes like,
Isidore just gives a thumbs
you know
up.
what? You know what? Fucking hell. I am really glad I'm alive to get to see this. Just tell me where to sit when the entire ship starts shaking.
Yes, rad.
Quinn grins
Hey,
and
it's been the
says,
last time I did it.
if only Gillian was here to see this. We will finally, in a small way, be making something better for once.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send him a recording.
Yeah, he probably would like to know that Harrison Armory's shit is about to get fucked up.
In response to your thing about the near light jump, she will regale you as she brings you guys up to the bridge. About a time that she kind of basically pulled this off as a sort of mid battle stunt to get behind an enemy ship. They assumed that she'd run and she actually just jumped behind them so she could fire her main gun. This ship is not entirely empty because you do run into a couple of plainclothes crewmen. None of these people look like you've seen Common Front soldiers. You know they have the old antiquated liberty caps, the black and red, sometimes gray kind of uniforms. None of these people have uniforms. They're all in plainclothes. And you might also have noticed that Rhea herself is not actually in uniform. She was not in uniform when she met you guys. She's just kind of in a standard, like, crewman jumpsuit. It doesn't even have insignia on it. Would you guys like me to give you a sort of the short version of the mission briefing tonight?
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not too late yet.
Okay. We won't start this tonight because it is a whole thing.
They've got some time going in, so Quinn will apologize to Cinder as they're going in. And like while leaning against Bryn while in the mech, while in the lich frame. Hey, Cinder, I'm sorry. I apologize. I should never have been meddling in your business in the first place. After that encounter with that other me, which you have now witnessed, sorry about that, I've come to realize that believing I know everything about everyone and everything is a big character flaw of mine. I didn't know your business. It wasn't my business. I shouldn't have even been telling you what to do. I was projecting a lot. And I'm sorry. I don't even know what to do.
Aww.
We probably don't have enough time for you to get a response to that
Yeah.
just yet.
Mm-hmm. Cinder knows where to reach her, and like Quinn will just say, I mean, when Cinder's just quiet, Quinn will just grunt and be like, you know where to reach me, but silence is an answer too. It's not like you owe me anything. And then just like go back to leaning against Bryn, like crossing the lich frame's arms across her chest, and like just sitting there, like undulating next to her dad.
On the bridge, after you've kind of gotten settled in and Quinn has recorded a message, kind of hoping that it gets answered, but knowing it might not be. Rhea gives you a basic overview of her plan. Devlin Stone is hiding on the world of Arcturus, one of many mining worlds in the Republic of the Core area that was seized early on into the Civil War by force of arms in a sudden coup. The planetary government that they established is already completely fallen. The planet is absolutely free, except for a base that was hurriedly in the process of being constructed almost immediately after the coup and never actually finished. This place is bristling with guns. It is ridiculous. It's also incredibly vulnerable. Rhea cannot pilot with you. She will actually show you her arm. It is burnt to hell. She actually got shot down. She got shot down during the player campaign, and she has some nerve damage in her arms, and that is repairable. But she is like, I mean, it's kind of a they helped me, but I'm not able to pilot a mech like this. Not I won't be for at least a year or two, and you don't have that kind of time. But she is still nimble, and she will be coming along. One of you will need to carry her in an extended compartment because you're going to need her help to actually disable the security here. This place is riddled with turrets.
Gosh.
There are various, lots of half-made buildings and shit all over the place. Those turrets could be shut down by disabling the turret generators. The problem is that she is not her agent, who is lose.
It's Luca.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Her agent, who was undercover here, was found out and forced to bail before they could figure out where the turret generators were being moved. So she's going to have to try a couple of buildings. And she's going to be on foot in an assault hard suit, so she's going to need your help to get her there, be a battle taxi.
Okay, well,
does she need to be...
have a movement of 9, so
no, and also
Isadora will volunteer.
Yeah, does she need to be up against it, or could she do it from range? Because aren't you going to be sniping?
I can snipe from just about anywhere is the thing.
Okay, yep, good. All right, then
She'll need to be inside the building, unfortunately.
Okay.
There's a lot of... She knows that there's some kind of shielding on various parts of this complex. I'm supposed to be over the whole thing, but isn't yet. It's kind of why she was in a hurry. She doesn't really know what kind of shielding it is because it was, again, her person on the inside got caught. She has a suspicion that it's going to be... She has a suspicion that it's Horus Tech, whatever it is.
Great, more of that.
Yeah.
There's only one way to get that in this galaxy that I know of, says Quinn grimly.
God, Gillian really did leave at the wrong time. There's Army and Horus at the same time, jeez.
Yeah, Quinn's recording this, and they're gonna send it in I wish you were here, border to him. I'd glitter on it.
Twist him off at a distance.
Yeah.
Never mind, here I go killing again.
Yeah, so she'll need to be taxied around. Once they disable the generators, you guys can just literally punch through to the core of this installation. Find him. If he is out of a mech, she can handle him on the ground. And, if something goes wrong, you guys can jump out too. But if he's in a mech, she needs your help to pop him out of it. She knows that he will not let himself die in a mech if he can help it. So he's definitely his ejector seat is definitely on. Once he does, another one of you will need an expand compartment to actually contain him.
All right. I have to I think of all of us, Quinn is probably the next person who can do it. So I will remove her stay of execution to put it on. But I think Quinn should maybe not be with the adult murderer, though I suspect she could take him, but she's been through a lot, so I think Quinn should take Rhea, and Isadora should take the crazy murderer guy.
Yeah, I could change out the,
Devlin Stone may be 150 years old, but he is also kind of a bastard. Rhea will absolutely not feel comfortable asking you to take him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just change out, my Evo.
Oh, Alice, your mic isn't picking you up.
Yeah, your mic did the thing again.
Sorry. If Rhea's if Quinn is taxing anybody, she'd rather Quinn taxi her because she does not want this bastard getting anywhere close to Quinn.
Yep. Quinn reminds Rhea that she is a frontline fighter and has been this entire time. Though I did try to make a gun build for her previously. The Lich is special. Yeah, but Quinn says we'll just basically expand the Lich's compartment effortlessly, and as she does so, there's like a haunted expression on her face because her future self told her the same thing, that she could just expand the Lich's compartment effortlessly, as if it was nothing.
Oh wait, there's the built-in Eva. I can still change something.
Yeah.
Rhea's really impressed with the Lich, by the way. She's not really familiar with Horus technology, except as a rumor, basically. So she's not really had much experience with it up close. So she's really fascinated.
Yeah. Quinn looks to Rhea and says, "It's become the body of an entity that was ripped from another world. I don't know if there was another person in it before, but it's a person's body now. She. This is
Like,
no. No, this is Rhea
Hello?
Tavros.
hello, Null. Are you an NHP or something different?
No, like frowns, like the display on the Lich's face frowns, but then smiles wryly and says, bit of an NHP, bit more than an NHP.
A very complicated question you just asked.
Fascinating. I love expressions. I like it.
Yeah, it's
Well-
if you've ever seen like an old television monitor, right? It's like
Yeah.
that. It's very. I think I described it as like the Yes Man from Fallout New Vegas, right? It's like
Yes.
yeah.
I was actually thinking of a somewhere between the Yes Man and the whatever the furries that have like the
Yep.
weird
The
LED
the
screen.
protogens.
Protogens,
Yes,
that's
it's the protogen. Exactly.
Like-
Yep.
Somewhere right between those.
Yep.
Well, it's good to meet you.
Hop on in.
What will I ever do?
Yeah.
So she'll absolutely just like get to know the spec. She's really fascinated. She'll ask you all kinds of questions about it. Does asking questions of asking questions about the mech and about Noel and her make Quinn visibly uncomfortable in any way?
No, I mean Quinn. What Quinn does do though is basically like field basically most questions that Rhea has about Null to Null herself, since Null is her
Yeah.
own person who can define herself. But when Null struggles to answer, like Quinn makes suggestions and recommendations for maybe what the most accurate answer would be. And again, like we already know most of Null's lore, but like Null's like soul was pulled here, like their sense of their self was pulled here and just put in this thing. So that's basically the gist of it. And like Quinn basically talks about how this thing, she doesn't know much about it, but she wants to try and go through its records. It just has so many eons of records that have been tracked in it that she's having a really difficult time, because basically the future her that exists in this universe gets this mech every time. So there's a million instances of having fetched this mech, and she's not exactly sure which the first time was. So she's trying to find that out.
Yeah. I had a couple other things. Oh, waiting for the before they actually jump, Rhea will actually approach Bren about. Have you ever, Bren? I know you used to be a Union man. Well, the Union with a capital U, like the one with the Navy. Have you ever thought about finding yourself? Have you ever thought about having a real commission again?
He actually has not had time to think about that in like 6 months at all.
Ray will actually hand him a two different data pads or data wafers. One has a offer which will be officially made, but hasn't been actually confirmed yet. from the Executive Council of the Common Front, basically asking if Bryn would accept a commission on their border in the sort of former breakaway area to basically be a fleet captain, like command a small flotilla that just wanders from place to place. The other is from a nice little world on the fringes of Common Front space, who have recently acquired a Corvette from the Common Front, which is they're part of, but don't have anyone who knows what to do with it. And it's a little agricultural world, and the job that entails would be a little on the more boring side, but incredibly cushy, and mostly involve keeping the lights on.
Bryn just like stares at these. He has no idea what to say.
Figured
At
I'd
all.
deliver them in person. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing after this myself, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're not sure either.
Living.
Gotta tell you the truth. I have not had much time to really think about that for a while.
You should start. Whatever you decide, you should think of something. I'm sure you can. You're a smart guy. She just kind of pats on the shoulder and just like leaves him holding those.
Bryn is very confused.
Yeah, and so they make that jump They make that jump. It is not effortless. The ship shakes like hell, and you have to be strapped in. Feels like it's about to come to pieces on you, and then you're there because she has you on the bridge for this. It is huge right in front of you. There is a grand total of 8 seconds between coming out of near light speed, and entering the blink gate. In which time the blink gate snaps open just long enough to admit your ship. Perfectly timed.
Nice.
And you're free.
I think before we made the leap, Isadora gave the Aedolith directions to go to, but like not the specific planet. Just go this way. We'll be by later.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just note for posterity, I removed retractable profile and put in the extra compartments. So
Yep.
that's what I'm doing.
All right.
I took off a stay of execution, so hopefully nobody nearly dies this mission. Please don't nearly die this mission, thanks.
All right. I'll go ahead and place it on the actual. That is all I have as far as like preparing you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this fight has 2 stages.
Mm-hmm.
There is a boss fight.
Mm-hmm.
It should be entertaining. It's not the wackiest thing, but it's interesting. I also basically based this character off of one of my favorite BattleTech characters. So,
Aw, I'm
Nice.
excited.
yeah. By the way, I don't know if are we broadcasting this?
Yeah, we are, but do you want me to stop? I can stop.
No,
Okay,
I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say if anyone's there listening, the Confederation of the Corps has actually always been a long way around reference to BattleTech's Dark Jihad era with the Confederation of the Republic of the Sphere.
Ooh, I have to look them up because I only know so much about BattleTech. I know more about Mech Warrior.
I'm being very mean to Devlin Stone. He's not that.
But, he's not Duke Devlin, who is the biggest scumbag in the universe.
I'm just going to point out that the manga version of Duke is even more of a scumbag. I've been reading a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Lately.
I can't believe we went from BattleTech to Yu-Gi-Oh! And yes, manga Duke Devlin is absolutely, utterly irredeemable.
Yeah, that's all I got for you guys.
I guess, before we I obviously we don't have enough time to even get started. I wouldn't. I guess. How much time will pass? Do you two think between this mission and the next mission, which I believe is the final boundless mission?
Probably not much, unless there's a lot of wrap up after this mission.
Okay. Well, then, what I wanted to establish is Eastero's like matchmaker like pings occasionally. With like every 30 minutes, it's just a very gentle ping of that ETA getting closer and closer and closer. It won't arrive this mission, but as you know, y'all know, it will arrive. Whatever is coming from the rocket shipping will arrive. I guess at the beginning of the first boundless, the final boundless mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Additionally, as they're standing there, a thing I wanted to establish is Noel. Like when Quinn gets out of Noel to like go, like take like help Rhea set up to to survey the field, basically, right, and find out like her trajectory and like figure out where things are, right, using a scope and such from the ground, because like from a mech the perspective is different. Noel will look to Sylvia and pull out her spear and hand it to Sylvia and basically point to a place on her body and say, stab it really, really hard. Do not hold back.
Sylvia just goes like, "You're sure?"
Yes.
Sylvia goes like, "All right," and complies.
No need to roll, because Noel's not resisting, right? Just letting you hit her. You break, like, for a moment, like, the body jerks up as you definitely, like, hit something, and you're tearing through something that feels supernatural, but you can feel it torn into, and you can feel it, like resist you and then die. And as you pull the spear back, Noel like looks down at the hole in her body. I'll do like some damage to her. I guess start slightly damaged, but this is mostly narrative. I'll probably just like roll like some. If you want to roll the spear's damage, it's 4 or 5 d6 if you're actually going to use the thermal charge. But please don't. If you just want to roll that.
No. I think Sylvia is just literally going. I can roll damage if you really want.
Yeah,
I'm
just kind of curious what she would do, but we'll see what ultimately happens. Okay, yeah, 9. Yeah, not a ton. But yeah, when it comes out, like Noel looks down at the hole in her and like takes the spear back from Sylvia and claps her on the shoulder and says, "She can't. If I'm taken, she won't be able to jump back now. She cannot reset."
Sylvia just goes like, "What did I just stab?"
Whatever, like the time core inside of her, the thing that lets her jump all the way back to the beginning of the Groundhog Day loop. Noel just destroyed it.
Sylvia just goes like, "Well," cracks knuckles. Cool.
We will need to repair this. I am slowly bleeding to death.
Wait, I'm sorry, you told me to lethally wound you?
It will be okay. She grins. I can still control time. We have time. But I don't. If she resets it, if she gets her hands on me and resets it, this whole timeline falls and I lose her. She gestures over to Quinn and I lose you.
Cool, great, thanks. Next time, warn me that you're gonna do that, so that we can plan better.
She laughs.
I thought I was just doing some damage to something that was mechanical.
She laughs. She'll like basically patch it up and say, "I think I've stabilized it. It should be fine, as long as I don't get hit here again."
Just be clear. To be clear here, if you die, I will find a way to resurrect you, and then I will kill you again.
Will you kill me for eons? Because that sounds hot. She grins.
No! Just once!
the dragon...
I don't have the time to do that!
Can I fight back?
I have a life!
The Dragonoth coming out. Ooh, you'll fight me for eternity? No! Just once! Yeah. She just like looks down and says, I think it's okay. Wow, it feels weird. Yeah. she like slides the spear back in and stands next to Sylvia, nodding.
Sylvia just goes like, I'm very happy that I'm apparently good at spear surgery. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go sit up down over there, and when we get to the planet, I'm going to get in my mech, and I'm going to tell Kopesh that she's very good, and then we're going to kick the shit out of everyone.
I cannot wait to beat the ever-living shit out of Harrison Armory. Not gonna lie.
Oh, this is great. This is almost as good as fighting cops.
It's effectively fighting cops.
is.
It's Isadora chimes in. It
This
basically
entire
is
arc
fighting
is
cops.
with Sylvia getting back to her good old boy roots.
No, listen. The mech pilots for Harris are the guys that couldn't get to be cops.
Mhm.
In a way, they're kind of
Wannabes.
worse than cops. Wannabe cops in many ways are worse than actual
We were
cops.
fighting the mall cops of the
Horizontal
universe.
change.
This is nothing but Paul Blart.
Oh god.
Oh god, no, it's worse. This is like... Because Paul Blart, at least, is like, he knows he's a mall cop. These guys are like, they are physically fit, tactical boys who like signed up for a year of adventurism and imperialism because they thought it would look cool and be good on their resume.
Yep.
And they're all like excited and constantly talking to each other about how excited they are to blow up the nearest quote-unquote terrorist cell,
Yeah.
and
that's
just
not
like
nice.
bragging about the trophies they've taken from living civilians.
Alice,
So
I know-
we're just gonna like eat them.
I know you want to use a bunch of BattleTech pugs in this, and I respect it, and I'm gonna love every single one of them. But if I sent you a pug of a cop on a Segway, would you put a couple in?
I will. Yeah, if you want to send me pogs, I will absolutely use them.
I was
I wasn't actually planning to use any Battletech ones. I was just going to use Devlin Stone's face.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely
good.
send me a pog.
God,
Very
like
good
this
shit.
Motherfucker over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some cops on Segways. Just a bunch of cops on Segways as pugs.
Fuck yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
God, Harrison Armory is just the fucking bad guys at the end of Breaking Bad. Just the fucking Nazis at the end of that.
Yeah. They're so awful. Man, Marcus Steele, we're gonna fuck him up real bad. This man.
At first, we're just gonna kill this guy who has apparently been reporting into Marcus.
Oh shit! That reminds me. Quinn will ask Rhea if her man inside, does she think they are dead? Don't you? No, don't. Prill, no.
But what else would you like to know?
Hello, Pro.
Aww.
She's nuzzling the little USB that I have to use for my headset now, and
That sounds both annoying and fair to you.
well, it's been damaged, so please don't. But very cute. So yeah, is this dude still alive? Does she think this person might still be alive?
Yes. They were able to get out safely, but because Devlin Stone is kind of, has a small army of Harrison and loyalists to him, they can't really leave the planet, so they're sort of stuck.
All right, but they aren't in his custody, so we don't have to look
No.
for him. Like, they got found out, but they got out.
Yeah, they got out.
Okay, that's all. Because Quinn, if that person was still in here, don't want to assume genders here. Quinn was also going to try and find them. She's in very much leave nobody behind mode. She knows of only one way that somebody came back from being like this, and it was by going all in on being there for everybody else. So she's focusing in that direction. Cool. All right. She'll get back in the mech. Noel chimes happily when Quinn and Rhea get back inside of her. And Quinn, how does Rhea think about the gamer chair? Because unfortunately, both chairs in the cockpit are those fucking awful, hideous gamer chairs. They're incredibly comfortable, but they look absolutely terrible.
She she has to laugh about it for a good 2 minutes.
It's good for your sciatica. An old lady like you should appreciate it.
You know what? I'm not even gonna argue. You're probably right.
When we're done, I'm gonna try and sneak one into Bryn's mech. He's getting up in years.
Absolutely no. How dare you? That's how old I'm gonna be soon, Jenner.
I'm older. I'm so ancient. All right. Is there any roleplay that anybody else wanted to do? Noel will basically inform everybody that she broke the time core inside of herself when Quinn is distracted, which will prevent any more rotations from happening until it's repaired. Yeah. I'll be narratively like seeing what happens if she takes a bunch of damage, but like effectively, if she gets hit in the same place, it will probably maybe be bad, but it'll probably be fine. Don't worry about it because I'm not gonna blow up my own character and shit. But yeah, if future Quinn does get her hands on the Lich frame, she won't be able to reset the timeline while it's broken. So yeah.
I think I'm good. Visitor is just gonna prep Scout Battlefield, and we'll lay down stuff when we start next time.
Yep. Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop recording. We're ending a little early. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.